Once upon a time, there was a podcast, and the podcast had a shadow. It's Harmless Phosphorescence! Hello, everyone. This is your host, Thoreau Smiley, and I'm here to sprinkle some micro machines on the floor. Who's joining me this week?
I'm Josh Cece, and I will gladly put 5 on it.
Okay, we don't always have to be talking. I'm
Okay, playing Fuck the Police by NWA. I'm Alaric Weber.
This is Haunted Phosphorescence. It's the podcast where we watch 4 spooky movies for October. We're taking a break.
Eventually, we'll watch all of them.
Yeah, eventually we'll watch
Given enough time.
all the scary movies. Oh my God. That might be centuries. If we're doing it a week per movie, it's going to be a while.
Every scary movie, yeah.
Yes, this is Haunted Phosphorescence. It's your yearly Spooktober. I think this is our 3rd annual Haunted Phosphorescence. So good on us. We did something.
We did it again.
Yeah. Oops.
Oops.
This show is brought to you by our patrons. Patrons like executive producers Michael Beckwith and Atticus Burkett. You want to be a patron? Do it. Just go to patreon.com/harmlessentertainment.
Yeah,
Just do
want.
If you want to, then why aren't you?
Want not, dear listener. We're here and available.
It's $1.
For only $1.
It's $1, guys. $1.
I mean, $1's $1, right?
I mean,
I'll do anything for
not
$1.
anymore. What is it? With inflation, 50 cents is now 87 cents.
And if you're a woman, you just have to pay 75 cents.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
We're obviously all very bad at math except for Al.
Yeah.
He's staying out of the inflation fray.
We're at least 1/10 as important as NPR, who only ask for $10 a month.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. I like Al's argument.
Yeah, that's a
I
good
can't
way to
argue
put
with
it.
that math because I'm terrible at it.
We're as informative. It's just
Hey.
what we tell you is completely useless as opposed to NPR.
If you give us $10 a month, I'll find a tote bag and mail it to you.
Oh, if you give us 10, if you
yeah, I
give
got
us,
something.
It might even be an NPR tote bag.
yeah, no, we've got merch. I have stickers. We've got stickers and all sorts of stuff that we send out. If you go in at $10 a month, $20 a month, we say your name here live on the air to all 12 people listening. So
I'll send you a
$30
dog.
month, we'll give you a hug.
yeah,
A hug.
Yep.
You might need one.
$50. Pictures of my butthole.
And if you would like to see us do cameos, let
Escalated
us
really
know.
quickly, Thoreau.
I know. I'm not.
What's the feet pick entry level? Jesus Christ.
Oh, those are free, Brian. That's
No, it's more of an or else situation.
yeah. If you don't pay for it, I'm sending pictures of my feet to you.
You're going to see
Thoreau's
my
getting back on Twitter.
Nobody wants to see my feet. Nobody.
But lots of people are.
I've got 47-year-old
fighting to-
man feet.
fighting
Yeah,
to see
we're
your
lining
butthole.
up.
Yeah.
It's like the county fair, man. I'm eating a fried corn dog and waiting in line to see your butthole. How did this
There it
happen? What happened here?
I don't know. Anyways,
It's October.
Patreon.com/harmlessentertainment. That's all you need to do. $1 a month. There's a ton of bonus content on there. This week on Haunted Phosphorescence, we are watching 2019's Us.
To take the date out of the bag.
That's a classic right there.
What does I got 5 on it mean?
It's about drugs.
It's not about drugs. It's a dope song. Don't do drugs.
Get in rhythm. There you go. There you go. Can't believe how big they've got.
Did you hear Gabe got a boat?
He's kidding, right?
He's not kidding.
Hey, I think it's vodka o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
Where's Jason?
Jason?
Where were you?
I didn't know if you were lost. Stick with me, and I'll keep you safe.
There's a family in our driveway.
It's probably the neighbors. But y'all scared of a family? Hi, can I help you?
Zora, put your shoes on.
If you want to get crazy, we can get crazy. What are you people?
It's us.
They look exactly like us. They think like us. They know where we are. We need to move and keep moving. They won't stop until they kill us. Or we kill them.
Be careful.
Us.
God damn, that trailer is so scary. Oh, I love that trailer so much.
Yeah, no,
It
that
is.
is a good trailer.
Oh,
wow.
man. That had me so hyped for this movie. Holy crap.
When you don't know, yeah, it seems like a typical family in peril horror movie. You know, we're out at the cabin, shit's getting weird, but you have no idea
No.
Yeah.
what it's
idea.
really, why it's really scary. It's not just a home invasion.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is. This this movie's incredible. It was released March 22nd, 2019 at a running time of
Oof. Oh, wait, that's before COVID. Never
2019.
mind.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
the year before COVID.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's 116 minutes long. It cost $20 million and it made $256 million. That's why
Wow.
Jordan
Man.
Peele gets to keep making movies because of that.
Well,
Sure.
and that's just a testament to black movie going audiences buy movie tickets.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap, do they buy movie tickets?
Well, I would argue he crossed over pretty heavily too.
For sure. But I mean, but at the same time, like that, there were so many people that were out for this movie. This is the follow-up to Get Out. I mean, and Get Out was perfect.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Get Out got him an Oscar. Like,
Yeah, it was a perfect movie. Like, there's nothing wrong with that movie whatsoever.
mhm.
It's Hitchcock level of like, wow, how'd you pull this off? That's crazy.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. Yeah, like the marketing showed, like, yeah, that it was the black experience of this family in peril trope that horror movies do. Like, so we're going to see it from that perspective. But
Yeah.
you had
so
no
different
idea
from that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would argue. I mean, he's made 3 films. I don't think a single one has been a dip in quality. All 3, I think, are.
They're all so different from each other.
right. He's
Yeah.
just
Like-
he's exploring different. Yeah,
different.
Well, and they all
tropes. Yeah.
They all get lumped together because it's a black filmmaker with black casts.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, they're all so different from each other. God, I can't wait to talk about those other movies.
Yeah. There's all 3. I love all 3. Jordan Peele hasn't done anything I've disliked yet. Mad TV is
Well-
like the least of his things.
he was great in
And-
Fargo.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Him and Peele. Wait.
Him and Peele.
Key-
Yeah, they
Key.
were Key and Peele, right? What was I going to say? Yeah, he even brought back the Twilight Zone. He was the host of the new so he likes that episodic serial kind of, you know, where they feel like they're in the same universe, but they're different. Like this last one was alien focused.
And let us not forget he brought us Gremlins too.
Oh,
That's
that's,
true.
right.
That's true. That's in the movie.
All of those dramatic film choices.
Tim Heidecker, he's in the movie.
Yeah, Us was a big fat hit, which means it's time for us to talk about the box office top 10. This is the box office top 10 game. I will describe the top 10 movies of the week of March 22nd, 2019. And the guys here are going to try to guess what movie I am describing. So here we go. At number 10 for the week, a deactivated cyborg is revived. But but they can't remember anything of their past and go on a quest to find out who they are.
Short Circuit 2.
There's slightly less brown face in this movie.
the robots in bracket.
This is
Deactivated cyborg.
Wait, wasn't that the guy from Succession in brownface?
it was
No.
yeah no
Oh
no.
yeah, he is in Succession. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, he's the
He
creepy lawyer. Yeah.
It's what's his name? He was an
John.
80s guy. I knew we knew as
Yeah.
like an 80s guy, but yeah. I don't
Fisher Stevens.
know. Fisher Stevens.
Fisher Stevens. Thank you.
As for the movie, I think it's Prometheus.
No,
Is it?
No,
It is not.
it's Alien. Not Isolation.
it's not an alien.
Oh wow,
It's not an
It's not
alien.
David.
It's a cyborg.
This movie stars a creepy ass CGI character and
Is this Alita Battle Angel?
Alita Battle Angel. Yes.
Oh.
The uncanniest
saw
of
that.
Valley characters.
Yeah. James
Where her
Cameron.
Big
eyeballs-
eyes.
Her.
Yeah, her eyes are
way
like
too big.
anime eyes. It's weird
Yeah.
and creepy.
Isn't that Robert Rodriguez?
I don't know who directed it. It was produced by Cameron.
I think it was.
It's surprisingly good. Honestly, it's surprisingly good for what it was. I was very surprised. The actress is really good. She was in a rotoscope thing on Amazon Prime with Bob Odenkirk.
That I haven't watched that yet, but it's on my list.
I forget what it's called. There was another season of it that I haven't watched, but she was exceptional in it. And I watched that, and then afterwards I was like, I guess I'll watch Alita Battle Angel, and went, wow, there's a lot to that. Like, she brings a lot to that character.
At number 9 this week, 5 years after the first film in this series, the citizens of the town are facing a new threat. Invaders from outer space, wrecking everything faster than they can rebuild it.
Wreck-It Ralph 2, Wrecking the Internet?
No.
Or
No,
something?
it's the fifth one you said?
No, it's been 5 years since the first.
Oh.
This is the second and last in this the first one was a giant hit. This one was okay. It didn't bomb, but it didn't do great. It was considered a big step down from the first one. It is let's see. We've got it is a movie that in some ways
a movie.
yeah, that in some ways has a lot in common with Barbie.
Is this Snake Eyes?
No.
That's a good guess.
It does have things in common with Barbie. It does let's see, we've got
Your
Is
Little
this
Pony.
Blade Runner 2049?
no.
Is it?
No, that's
the-
not 5 years after the one. That was like 25
5 years after Barbie.
Off the top of my head, both Chris Pratt and Bob Odenkirk are in this.
What?
In this. It is a animated film.
Oh,
They
I was gonna
provide
say,
voices.
Is this the family with the robots at
it's-
the end of the universe?
No, this is in the first film. So the first film in the series, much like Barbie, was about toys trying to justify their place in the universe, and Will Ferrell was in it.
The Lego Movie.
2, the Lego Movie 2.
Oh my gosh. It's 5 years after? Why does it?
It came out
Yeah.
5 years
I
later.
didn't know time and continuity was real important. to
Right.
Lego.
Uh,
Okay.
At number 8 this week. Oh my God. Okay, this is interesting. Okay. Huh. This is also a sequel, and I'm just going to straight up read the description. Zeki tries to regain Lucy's love by bringing the school's team to victory.
Zeki?
Huh.
This is
That's it?
this is it looks like this is not an English language film.
Oh,
Oh,
so it's not bringing on
No.
again. Keep bringing it on.
How do you say bring it on in Spanish, Al?
Uh,
good question.
Al's a math major. I mean,
You're giving me too much credit with calling.
Yeah,
that a
and
good question.
it is not around.
I'm assuming it's not Bring It On in Spanish.
it is not. I don't.
Is it a Bolly?
It's a
Is it a
Spanish.
Bollywood? Oh, it is a Spanish.
It is
language?
Spanish. It is Spanish. Yes.
Dame LN.
It's called No Manches Frida Dos. Parezo
Oh!
Destruido.
have
I
no
don't
idea
know what
what
that means,
Good for them.
but
It's number 2. I know
yeah.
that.
but the first one was apparently a big enough hit that they made a sequel, and it's charting in the U.S., which means it was a big hit with the United States Spanish-speaking community.
What was the name again?
No Manches Frida Dos. At
Okay.
number 7 this week, a free-spirited woman in her 50s seeks out love at L.A. dance clubs.
What the fuck is happening? This was 2019.
Yeah, starring Julianne Moore.
A free-spirited woman. That means a slut.
Yeah, in movie parlance.
Yes, in movie part.
Oh my God.
Is this that movie about the kid who pretends that other kid killed himself and wrote him a letter?
I don't think so. I don't know.
She got her murder back.
The title of the film is just the character's name, so you have like a 1 in 20,000
Rebecca.
chance of guessing. No, first and last name. You got to get the first name.
Rebecca Jones.
Tito Rodriguez.
The poster says
Mercutio Lavador.
the poster. The tagline on the poster is "Love, Life, this spring." It's called, starring Julianne Moore. She is Gloria Bell.
Oh,
Okay.
Gloria Bell.
Somebody's got to be, I guess.
I think
Now I remember.
is she the heir to AT&T?
She's Alexander Graham Bell's granddaughter.
She's Ma Bell.
Yeah. She does have the ill communication.
What was she saved by the?
It's all right. She was saved by the bell. At number 6. Oh my God. I love this. Okay. A joyous family reunion becomes a hilarious nightmare as
That's all of her. Yeah.
as our main character and her family travel to backwoods Georgia, where they find themselves unexpectedly planning a funeral that might unveil unsavory family secrets.
This is that one movie that guy won the Senate seat off of.
I don't think so.
This isn't Meryl Streep.
It's like where the crawdads sing.
It is
or
not.
something?
This is like the, I don't know how many, 12th movie in this series.
Are you
Deliverance
shitting me?
12.
Nope. I don't know
Your
the number, but
delivery
that's
has
just a
been-
guess, and I don't think I'm especially far off if I had.
No, wait. It's been that
Fried
many?
Green Tomatoes, The Vengeance of the Train Tracks. or something.
On the main character is the link behind all of these films. This
Is
is
it a
an
Fast and
auteur.
Furious?
This is an auteur who's made the entire series. And it the tagline is "She puts the fun in funeral."
Oh,
You know
Dang
it,
it.
Al.
That pun is fantastic.
I do, but I can't remember the
Tasteless.
name.
Tyler Perry's
I would
Yes.
say Medea.
Oh,
A Medea family funeral.
yeah.
Wow.
It goes to Al. He had Medea
Wow.
on the tip of his tongue.
At number 5, another sequel.
God.
Yeah. When our protagonist discovers that his animal sidekick isn't the only of his kind, he must seek out a hidden world, a secret utopia, before a hired tyrant finds it first.
A tired
Jurassic
tyrant?
World,
A hired tyrant.
Jurassic World, something.
This is animated.
anime.
Sorry.
I was going to say
I have a problem with hired tyrant.
A hired
King of the
tyrant.
Monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It implies he
Yeah.
can be fired.
Yeah. Who hired him? A worse
Right.
tyrant? Is he less petty or more petty?
Is there sort of a puppet master?
Yeah, that is a
behind the
weird
scenes at
phrase. A
HR?
hired tyrant, a hired mercenary, sure, but you don't.
Sure.
Yeah,
But yeah, if he's tyrannical, get him out of there.
I want to see a movie about a tired tyrant.
That's it.
Yeah.
A tired hydrant. It's an animated movie.
it is. It's I don't know what number, but it's a sequel. Like probably
Did they
3,
like
4.
a despicable something or other?
No, but it's DreamWorks.
The Croods go to space.
No, this is a little more popular than the Croods.
Shrek 6, The Pelican Brief.
This is I don't know what else to say about this. This takes place in Scandinavia.
Is Shrek the lawyer?
In Scandinavia?
Yeah.
Is it one of the ice ages?
No. Who else is in
Is this
Scandinavia?
a How I
Don't
Met?
laugh at me.
How I Met Your
I was
Dragon?
once like
It
you.
is a How I Married Your Dragon. Yes. How I Met.
My big fat Greek dragon.
Did you know that the third?
6?
I don't know what number. It just says How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. I have no idea what number it is. There's 3 My Big Fat Greek Wedding movies and a TV series.
There's a new one coming out, isn't there?
Yeah, the third movie.
Has
And there was a
has an audience.
and a TV series. Yeah, that's crazy.
When's this wedding going to be over?
Right. At number 4 this week, a pair of teenagers with Jesus Christ. A pair of teenagers.
A pair of teenagers with Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
The Bible would be so radical.
Just Jesus trying to entertain 2 teenagers as he's trying to teach everybody
And they're-
throughout Judea.
In their time traveling phone booth.
Oh my God.
This is like
That should be a
Because
movie.
Jesus is
Yeah.
totally a time traveler.
Wow.
Bill and Ted
And Jesus.
go and rescue Jesus from the cross.
2 ants, Bill and Ted and Jesus.
And Ted and Alice.
I just assumed them pulling him down from the cross would be the funniest scene in the movie. Yeah. Like Jesus being like, no, I have to be up here. They're like, no,
He's
don't
like-
worry, Jesus.
No, he's like, why don't we take the phone booth to just a few minutes before? No. We got to take you down
One of the
from the cross.
one of them is like
It's
like
symbolic,
distracting
Jesus.
the others, or like they get death or station to distract the Romans.
Romans are easy to distract.
Yeah, so just somebody whip their dick out, and all of a sudden everybody's running over to see what's happening.
That's how Rome fell.
At number 4 at the box office, a pair of teenagers with cystic fibrosis meet in a hospital and fall in love.
Jesus.
Though their disease means they must avoid close physical contact. I think this is like a John
First thing I
Green. A
thought.
John
Yeah.
Green, yeah.
This is not leaving
Fault.
Alaska. The fault
First.
is in our stars.
Not A Fault in Our Stars. It's
Oh
another
shit!
one.
It's the other
There's
one.
like 12 of those. There's like 12
It's
John
not
Green
turtles
movies
all the way down.
about like sick kids that can't
Mutant
love
man.
each other.
Cystic love.
Do you want me to pop that or what?
Cystic radbrosis.
No, brosis.
It's called the key to the name is that they must avoid close physical contact.
Don't touch me. I'm scared.
That is the title
Boobies.
of my autobiography. It's called 5
Can't
Feet.
touch that.
It's called Hammer Time. Yeah,
5 feet high and rising.
5 feet apart.
That's pre-COVID. That's wild. That like a year later,
Well, that was 1
we
foot.
took it to the next level.
Yeah, 1 foot
6
more.
feet.
1 foot
Yeah,
more.
they're still gonna get COVID from each other.
They're like, whatever. Already got the brosis.
This is a crazy week at the movies. Number 3, the imagination of a wildly creative girl comes alive at an amusement park.
Oh,
This is one I have never heard of. It is
I remember
animated.
the trailers. It's like Adventureland, right?
No,
Or
not Adventureland.
Advent-
Not that one. That was a good movie. That was with Jesse Eisenberg and what's her face?
Oh, that
The,
was a live action.
and,
But it was like that.
This, I mean, it is named after the park. It is animated. There seems to be a blue bear and some sort of pink
There,
otter. There's
it's like you're giving a report. on the scene.
There's like
there seems to be a blue bear.
Oh, there's a porcupine, a
Steve
beaver,
Watch.
a monkey, and a warthog on the poster.
There's a beaver.
We bought a zoo, or we
And a girl.
shoplifted a zoo,
So
and
this-
a girl.
I think the girl
We
is.
blew up a
If I
zoo.
had to guess from this poster, I believe the girl and these smiling animals are friends. They may or may not be part of her
You are
imagination.
still giving a report. I love it. They may or may not be friends. Carol,
We're seeing
back to you.
motion now. coming
Seeing
out.
a monkey and a beaver.
Oh, it was available in Real D3D. I'm definitely going to buy that ticket. This is called Wonder Park.
Wonder Park.
Wonder Park. Yep.
It made $119 million. I've never heard of this film.
Accidentally.
At number 2 this week.
Okay.
It's getting serious.
A woman becomes a powerful hero and is caught in the middle of a galactic war between 2 alien races.
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel. Yes, indeed.
Once you said a woman, I knew. I knew it. I
It was-
could feel it in my bones. They're trying to make our comic book movies woke. Captain Marvel. I'm so excited for the Marvels, by the way.
Yeah, it looks fun.
Yeah,
as well.
that looks real fun. And at number 1, a family serene beach vacation turns to chaos and hijinks.
With Tim Heidecker.
Wait, did they get old?
What's her name?
That's the
Elizabeth
same
Moss.
description as Summer Rental starring John Candy.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They sell it as like this. Yeah.
It is so many movies. Like when
Yeah.
you start to describe it, it's like, wait, what is that? I've seen that.
Yeah, they even make you think like it's maybe even beach oriented, like a Jaws
Yeah.
type situation. You know, like is the evil on the beach? Then it's a home invasion.
They needed Beach Ken to save them.
Yeah, they did.
What if there's beach?
What about
We'll have a
beach?
beach off.
Yeah.
There will be
Oh
no
my God.
beaching anyone off.
There is
I
a
can't
beach
wait to
off
do
at the
that
end.
movie. There is a beach off.
Oh, man.
That brings us to the production of the film. So this movie is written and directed by Jordan Peele, of course. Jordan Peele, I mean, he's probably one of the, I think at this point, one of the like top 10 auteurs in the world, thanks to this and Get Out and Nope. We kind of already talked about him a little earlier.
Like there was this sort of renaissance of horror in the last few years with Blumhouse, Jason Blum, and then to a lesser degree Eli Roth, but he is quite annoying. But and then Jordan Peele, like because Blum produced Get Out, and then it just blew off, and he just went in a like you said. Now he's an auteur. It's not just like this new breed of horror directors. Like
Yeah.
that's his genre that he likes to play in. Obviously,
That
like Spielberg likes the aliens, you know. Like, but
that Get Out Oscar like bought him auteurship like outside of the horror genre.
Oh yeah, he's gonna end up making 10 movies on the back of Get Out. If that
That's why
hadn't been as good.
Well, and
it
they're not
wouldn't
like
have been
they're
as-
not even disappointing, and they keep making money, so it's not like anyone's even mad about it. It's not like we'll give you another chance. Like each one is a hit.
Well, it's
Yeah.
interesting though because each one is viewed through the perspective of the one that came before it. And
Yeah.
I remember when this came out, people were like, "Let's no Get Out though." And I remember thinking that a little bit, like, I really like Get Out. It was crazy. But this is a different movie completely, and they're really apples to oranges. You can't compare these movies.
no, I don't
He's-
think so. Same
He's
with
trying to do
Nope.
different things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Once I saw Nope, that solidified in my mind. The like Copeland fucking cowboy scene at the end. I was like, I don't know what this movie is.
Well, and the whole undercurrent about how unpredictable animals.
Yeah. And this movie
Are-
is similar. Like this, by the end of it, you're like, I don't know what this movie is, and then it's over, and you're like, oh. This movie left me feeling like an M. Night Shyamalan movie is supposed to.
Well, this made me feel unsettled, which is really the currency that horror has when you're an adult. Because you know what's scary,
Yeah.
like my mortgage defaulting. You know,
Yeah.
like a colonoscopy. So what's scary is the vibe, the mood, and there's some unsettling shit. Just standing, like the way Winston Duke's like Why would you be afraid of a family? Why would you not?
Afraid
But
of
that
a
logic
family?
is, that logic is
Yeah.
sound. Like we all relate to what he said, but why wouldn't you? That's 4 people. One person would creep you out. It's like, oh no, they look like the back of a, minivan sticker. So that's not threatening.
This movie, well, there's literally, they are the back of the minivan sticker family.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, they literally have the sticker. Yeah.
I wish Jeremy was here because he could talk about the experience of like watching a
he's our
horror
black
movie
friend.
because he's a black man. But no, watching
black
a horror
friend.
movie, our black friend Jeremy.
Oh, boy. Hiya, Jay.
friend of the
How's it
show.
going, buddy?
He's our
I
only
know you're
friend.
listening to this at some point.
Sorry, Jay, this is the worst. But no, like watching a horror movie and watching a white family do all the wrong things.
Yeah.
Whereas this family call the cops. She's like, they're on their way, 14 minutes out.
Mm-hmm.
That's what people would be doing in those real situations.
The Hyder Rock. His like what white shit is that? Because it's their family cottage, but he's talking about the invention of it. He's talking about the conceit of the Hyder Rock.
Right.
Why the fuck would you leave your key outside of the building that you've locked?
Yes.
Like I love that. So yes, it's totally that experience.
It's because us watching it, we're like at every moment. I remember watching it being like, yes, they're running. She's telling the kids to put on their shoes.
Right.
Things that a parent would be ideally doing in a horrifying situation. Instead of
when Red tells
like hiding
Zora to run, like little girl, run. Like imagine how hard it is for a mother to, because you'd want to keep her in.
Yeah.
But she's just like, go.
Yeah.
Run.
When she says run,
choose a direction and run. Yeah.
So,
So Jordan Peele, Mad TV, Key and Peele, brilliant, funny guy.
So, I'm trying to figure out, but okay. So it says Jordan Peele's mom is Lucinda Williams.
What?
It's very unclear whether it's the Lucinda Williams or another Lucinda Williams.
Lucinda Williams, the country.
Yeah. Because
that's not his mom.
Because
they're not far off in age. She's married to Steve Earle.
Okay,
they're not his parents.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, because it says Lucinda. Yeah, his mom, Lucinda Williams, it was a white musician. I'm like, is it Lucinda Williams?
That'd be great.
Yeah, but no, she would have been. She's old enough to be his mom. She is old enough, but
Lucinda Williams.
Yeah, she's like 26 years older than him. But all right, but he was born. He grew up in Manhattan. He went to Sarah Lawrence, where he majored in puppetry.
It's awesome.
It's amazing.
That is amazing.
Wow.
Sarah Lawrence. Yeah. He wanted that small college experience.
Yeah. He dropped out of Sarah Lawrence and formed a comedy duo with Rebecca Drysdale, who is a comedian, and a writer.
That's a made-up word.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair. But he started doing stand-up. He got hired on Mad TV. He's currently married to Chelsea Peretti from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Which still hurts my brain.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Just thinking of them as a couple, I don't think I've ever seen them together. But finding that out, I'm like, whoa, weird.
Yeah, they're probably fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably very funny together, I'm sure.
And then of course him and his buddy Keegan Michael Key created Key and Peele, which if anyone who is even slightly interested in sketch comedy, if you have not watched Key and Peele, go do it right now.
Then you're not really interested yet. They and Dave Chappelle brought sketch comedy back to life.
Yeah.
And they elevated it, I think, because Dave.
Oh, absolutely, they did.
Really cool
it was still
commentary.
SNL. It still is.
And then this Key and Peele just blew the doors open for
Key
what
and
they
Peele
could
was,
make fun of.
Key and Peele, I feel like, was easily the most innovative sketch comedy since Kids in the Hall.
Yeah. And there's a ton of it. There's so many episodes of it. I still find bits where I'm like, how did I miss this? This is incredible. not the racial draft, the draft. I'm thinking of
The draft is so.
Oh my
the
god!
names are so.
I wish I could
funny.
remember some of them off the top.
It was like mug.
Yeah. Well, and it always ends with like, and John Smith,
Schniddle Thickets,
the white kid.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh no, that gets me every fucking time. Every time. So yeah. And of course, so then he got the chance to make Get Out, which won him an Oscar, and now we're talking about Us. The background of this film in general. He said he got the base idea, when he used to have to take the bus home at night, and he had
subway.
Yeah, and he had to walk under a bridge, and he would think about how he walked in, but how would anyone know it was the same him walking out? Which is
so he's changed. He's kind of changed that around a little bit.
Okay,
because he's talked about also like just the idea of you're standing on a platform and a train passes, and what you would do and feel if once the train passed, you saw yourself on the other platform.
Okay.
I remember him saying that, and that still spooks me out.
That is
just
spooky.
That concept.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It might have been a variety of like those weird thought experiments he had just in transit. Yeah.
Right.
Well,
they're variations of the same kind.
It's all them stirred into a pot and then cranked up to 100 too.
Oh yeah, he adds a lot to it. That's the very basis, which is, it's like when you hear Stephen King, like, so what was your idea for The Outsider? Well, I thought about doing a story about a guy who was in two places at once.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you did, Stephen? Is that all it was?
Well, I love it's like, how'd you come up with The Shining? Well, I was trying to get clean and it sucked.
It's like, and it got away from
at least
me.
that's an
Real
experience. Weird. But it's just like, wow, way to minimize it. A guy who's in two places at once. So it's the same thing with Peele. Like, imagine if you saw yourself.
Yeah.
Like, woo! But there's a lot more going on than that.
Yeah.
It's like, and it wants to kill you.
So
it wants to replace you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone can want to kill you.
Right.
That's true. It wants to, live in your house and eat your food.
In your skin, yeah.
So, Josh, I know you had a few notes. Did you want to talk a little bit about what you have?
So, so some fun things. Yeah. He also talks about the inspiration being an episode from the first season of The Twilight Zone, which was called Mirror Image. And we've probably seen it. If you haven't, it takes place in a bus station in the middle of the night. And there's a storm, so the bus is late. And there's a woman who is getting increasingly paranoid because people keep claiming to have having interactions with her around this bus depot, such as, you were just in the bathroom here talking to me. You just asked me what time the bus was coming. And then there's a moment where she's in the bathroom and the door swings open and she sees herself sitting there. And that freaks her out. And then she's finally going to get on the bus and she faints because she's already on the bus. But the version of herself on the bus is smiling maniacally, kind of like Red does in this, where it's very unsettling. It's not just a mirror image of herself, but that one's smiling, kind of laughing at her, and she's freaking out.
Is the daughter more of that ombre, always smiling? Is that kind of what they were getting at with that?
Possibly, because what's creepier than something trying to pretend how to laugh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could see a person crying in public and your mind could be like, oh, they're hurt or something happened or what. But if you see someone just by themselves laughing maniacally, not looking at their phone or anything like that, like, that's a truly unsettling thing. So these mirror images, these other people trying to learn how to laugh and be yeah. Yeah, I love that. Okay, so yeah, I think so, to answer your question, Brian. But there's also a scene where she's explaining it to this dude she just meets in the bus station, and he's like sort of taking pity upon her, and she's explaining this doppelganger experience she's having, and he's not calling her crazy like everyone else is. it's just like Winston Duke in this. Like when she's explaining it to him, he's not buying it, but he's not questioning her, calling her crazy. He's like, okay, all right.
We're in a hall of mirrors.
Okay. Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic because it would be so easy to dismiss, of course. The other thing I want to mention is choosing to put it in Santa Cruz. Here's a little fun thing. So it takes place in 1986. The movie Lost Boys takes place in Santa Cruz. And at the point that they moved to Santa Cruz in the Lost Boys, it was still called the murder capital of the world because in the 70s, Edmund Kemper, Herbert Mullen, there was like 2 other serial killers, like crazy serial killers that operated in and around Santa Cruz. And so like it also had the like surf Nazi, surf vampire type vibe. You know what's fun is that in the beginning of this movie, when Addie's little, her mom says they're filming something over by the carousel. You should see if they need extras. The next year, Lost Boys came out, and do you remember that famous scene when they're all on the carousel?
Yeah.
Alex Winter and Kiefer Sutherland that are all sexing it up on the carousel.
Those sexy Alex Winter eyes.
So that's a little fun nod, but like also just having it be in Santa Cruz, so already having this air of I like that the tunnels were thrown in there, though it has nothing to do with anything. Like you start a movie,
thousands of miles and no one knows what they exist for. It's like, what the fuck is this movie about then?
Yeah, it's true when you think about it.
Yeah.
Honestly,
like, they rebuilt Chicago on old Chicago.
Yeah. The layers are just so Kubrickian. There are so many layers to this movie. You can view it from so many different angles.
There are, and there's so many references and layers and themes that are extremely intentional and can be read in multiple ways and are sometimes difficult to parse what it was actually saying.
Yeah, he talks about the Hands Across America, about Reagan and the response to, that sort of Reagan mentality of like, we'll just hold hands. Like, look,
it's such
racism's over.
Solution.
We're all cool. We're all just gonna, and so much horror that we grew up with was a response to Reagan era bullshit. All the slasher movies and shit that we saw.
Real quick, a little bit about
zombies.
Hands Across America specifically. Hands Across America was it was the brainchild of Ken Cragen. Ken Cragen was a music agent and producer. He represented Trisha Yearwood, Travis Tritt, Kenny Rogers. He was the guy behind...
Not exactly a lightweight.
He was the guy behind We Are the World. He got Quincy Jones in and made We Are the World. And then he thought the next big charity event that he could fleece would be Hands Across America.
It was ambitious.
Hands Across America was brought in almost $40 million. And of that $40 million, nearly $15 million made its way to charities.
And what charities?
So,
like the Human Fund?
Yeah, exactly. So Hands Across America, like you were saying, one of those Reagan-era feel-good things that didn't really help people very much.
No. And didn't really even come off the way
and mental institutions were shuttered. People were cast out onto the streets.
Yes.
There's a lot of that in this with the 1111 guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Civilizing.
Yes.
There's that. There's
Reagan
a lot.
Created the homeless.
There's obviously a lot to say about like the prison industrial system and like what it means, like about how you grow up, how you were born, where like what sort of environment you're in dictates whether you're a successful wasp who owns a vacation cabin or if you have to persist on a diet of rabbits underground.
Well, yeah, and I mean, being a government project and being forgotten is not unlike being in prison.
Yeah.
Well, and they don't say it, but the implication would be if you could control people, then soldier, military applications and such.
Yeah.
So there's also that idea that like Reagan also, he didn't invent the GI Bill, but that was a real big, like, join the Killbot factory and then you can go to college. Like, if come on. And so there was also that kind of thing. And then like so many people that got tested upon and projects that got dismissed and thrown away. And like you said, people turned out on the street.
Yeah. So, all right. So we've got a lot. There's a lot of themes. We'll get to a lot of that stuff as we go through the film. But our cast includes Lupita Nyong'o, who plays Adelaide /Red. I know we've talked about her before in something.
Yeah, in the Black Panther movies.
Panther.
Same with Winston.
Yes. Yes, they were both in Black Panther. Oh, that's right. She's also Maz Kanata. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
She's awesome. She's captivating to watch. That's what makes the creepy version of her even more captivating.
She's doing
I think she's the
much.
best. I think she's the best actor right now. Like, period. I think she is the best actor in Hollywood.
I loved like watching little things, like if you notice as Adelaide, who she's constantly just has her hand like this.
Mm-hmm.
Which is an interest. It's an interesting tick. It's like defensive, but also it's, I don't know. It's like her hand across her chest for those listening to
It's a self. Yeah, it's a self.
Well,
yeah, her hand across her chest.
This is an audio medium.
It's a self-soothing thing to do. It's a protective thing. Yeah, it is very telling.
A thing that they highlighted in the trailer that, God, just every time it makes me so uncomfortable is when she is snapping her fingers on 1 and 3.
It's
the
not
rhythm?
even directly on 1 and 3.
Yeah, she's
she's
you got to feel the rhythm,
weird,
and she's like snapping this erratic off time.
Yeah,
and she had to work so hard to be off time.
I bet.
I bet you that was like, because I can't do it. I'm sure that she can't do it without being like, okay, I have to stop thinking about the music, just time it.
Yeah,
But it freaked me out the first time I saw it.
Yeah,
in the theater. I was like, I don't know what's happening, but that's weird, man.
Yeah, it is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and that's incredible too, because then and we see at the end, which again, jumping ahead, everything, how much better Red, I put that in quotes, is how much more rhythm Red has than Adelaide because of the whole thing. I mean, I don't know why I'm jumping around it. Red and Adelaide switched places. We're gonna, if you haven't watched us, why are you listening to us? Winston Duke, like we said, was in Black Panther. He played M'Baku. He's in a upcoming film adaptation of The Fall Guy. Great.
Okay. That's just about a badass stunt.
Yeah.
Man. Like, you could do a lot with it.
And he plays Gabe / Okay, so just real fast, I'll get into it now because we're talking about the characters. So each character, of course, has a tethered character, and each of the tethered characters has a name, even if they don't say it in the film. So Winston Duke's dad's name, the dad character, is named Gabe or Gabriel, and his tethered character is named Abraham.
One is the angel, the other is the father who sacrificed his child.
I was going to say, kill me a son.
Yep, exactly.
Yep. Kill me a son.
God said to Abraham.
Shahandi Wright Joseph plays Zora. And of course,
Umbre.
Which means shadow.
Yeah, the shaded inner region of a shadow. Yep. Exactly.
She gets the spookiest moment, I think, in the movie. Umbre was born laughing, and you just look over at her, and she's just like smiling. Oh,
she dies laughing too.
Yeah, she did.
They're all mad and creepy.
Yeah, that's one of the creepier
Fuck
moments
that
too.
Family. Yeah.
Fuck that family, man.
She voiced young Nala in the Lion King remake, and
live action.
Yeah, it's not live action. Those are not real lions.
I thought they put her inside a lion.
That's why I'm
laughing out of its mouth.
They used real warthogs and shit.
And she's in Them, which is a series from 2021.
Not different than us.
Yeah.
She's in Us and Them.
Yeah.
Yes, she is.
She briefly
And
played
coming
bass
soon,
guitar in Pink Floyd.
we.
Yeah. Evan Alex plays Pluto and Jason.
Jason.
And of course, Jason. I don't know. I'm trying. Jason and the Argonauts. Pluto, of course, the Lord of the Underworld.
He's always wearing a mask.
He is. Yeah, he's always.
His
wearing
name
a
is
mask.
Jason.
Oh, huh. Okay.
Or
there
movie.
we go.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
There
Yeah,
you-
sometimes it's
Yeah, sometimes it's very on the nose.
yeah, sometimes it's direct. Yeah.
Elizabeth Moss plays Kitty Tyler, and her tethered character is Dahlia. I don't know, Black Dahlia.
Yeah,
It's a flower.
murder.
Yeah,
She
maybe
wants to be an
Dahlia, yeah.
actress.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. No, she did want to be an actress.
She's of course best known as Peggy from
But I think she's best known for The Handmaid's Tale at this point.
Oh,
She
yeah.
she was Peggy on Mad Men. Yeah,
That's
you're right.
okay. Handmaid's Tale.
That's
I
true.
guess,
She's
you're right.
most known for that.
I know her as Bartlett's daughter from West Wing.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, remember?
When the president's daughter got kidnapped and then they ended a season because they're fucking cruel and weird.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, she's in the upcoming Taika Waititi. Next Goal Wins.
She's not my favorite. She's a Scientologist.
Yeah, she's like a
little freaky.
big Scientologist.
Yeah. She's a great actor.
Oh,
but
is
she's
she?
a little freaky.
Oh, super big
Dude.
Scientologist. Yeah.
Big time.
She was married to Fred Armisen for a while.
Mm.
She talks about it being dramatic.
Yeah. She said Fred Armisen.
He seems like an asshole. No, not to get on.
We
that.
when we went to when I went to Nam with IMC that one year with you guys, we walked within a foot of Fred Armisen. It was weird.
The Nam show. Nam.
Nam. When we went to Nam. Yeah.
The National
When
Association
I was shot
of
in
Music
Vietnam.
Merchants.
That was 2006.
Yeah.
Our tour in Anaheim.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tour,
Yeah, he's
tour of duty in Anaheim.
Yeah.
Step out of the car and Fortunate Son's playing. We're in the
I
shit.
did. Yeah,
We're in the shit of Disney traffic.
I did. Yeah, that is the shit.
Yeah.
Did 2 tours in Anaheim.
Tim Heidecker plays Josh, Kitty's husband, and his tethered character is Tex. I don't know what that one's about.
I love it,
Just
though.
He's all hat. Just
All that, no cattle.
Yeah.
yeah.
Tim Heidecker, I don't know. Bridesmaids, I know him from that.
Tim and Eric.
From Tim and Eric.
Oh my God.
Awesome.
He was, that's right. He was in Fant Four Stick. He played Mr. Richards. Was that the dad? Like their dad?
He's Reed Richards' dad.
Yeah.
At the very beginning.
Okay.
When he's like, I solved time travel and teleportation. He's like, you're a terrible kid. You should throw
He's a
football.
weird guy. He's made some weird stuff.
He's always entertaining, though, whenever I see him.
Oh,
This surprised the
I like him.
hell out of me. I did not know what to expect when he was the face I saw.
I like he and Eric Warheim.
He was also an Ant-Man. He's the tour guide in San Francisco when they're on the boat.
Oh, okay.
He's like, if you look over here, there's whales. And then Ant-Man pops out of the ocean.
He pops up.
And then as Adelaide's mom and dad, we have, I have to say this dude's name again. He was Black,
Yahya Abdul-Mateen, right?
yes, from Aquaman. He was Black Manta.
And
Oh, right.
he's also, what's his name? Dr. Manhattan. Isn't he?
Oh,
He
that's
is,
right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Dr. Manhattan.
Oh my God. And he played,
Oh, I like him.
oh God, he played the resurrected Morpheus in Matrix
Yeah,
Resurrections.
that's right. Which honestly, was not the worst part of that movie. I really
no.
thought he played a great version of Morpheus.
Yeah. The mom. Okay, so his tethered's name was Wayland. I don't know if that's Utani or
Probably.
Smithers.
Well, it's Waylon Smithers.
Oh, that's true.
and Waylon.
Yeah, like
Yutani.
Waylon James.
Although technically it was Waylon Yutani in Alien.
Oh,
I learned
yeah.
that the other day, which is weird. It was Wayland Yutani in the second one.
Huh. Interesting. Anna Diop plays Adelaide's mom, whose name was Rain, and the tethered's name was Eartha.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like that the tethered names are normal names. Not all of them are Umbre and Pluto and
Yes.
Abraham.
Yeah.
Like being Tex
Mm-hmm.
makes it being Wayland makes it a little more normal. or like
Yeah.
diverse, I guess, not normal. None of them are normal.
Or it feels generational as well. Like these are parent names, and then we got to name the kids, and they're a little more unique.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She was probably best known from Everybody Hates Chris. She was on that for the duration of the series.
Is she the mom on Everybody Hates Chris?
Deidre. I don't know. She's not the mom.
It's been
She's
a long.
not the mom.
It's been a long
The mom
time.
would
Yeah,
be a
she
little
probably
older.
wasn't
'Cause
old
the
enough.
dad was
Yeah.
what, Terry Crews.
I think she's
Right. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she's like a kid, like a teenager in that.
Yeah, she's like my age, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So.
Did the homeless dude have a tethered name?
Yes, I'm not sure which one of these he is because there's a lot of characters they mention, and I don't know which is which.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not
My
sure
bad.
what his name was. I didn't catch it in the credits.
And it doesn't matter if there's a hole.
Yeah, but there's one of my favorite ones is let's see, Kara Howard. I don't.
Oh, the twins. The
twins.
They're so forgettable.
Yeah.
Those white bitches that are just intolerable.
Yeah, the twins
Insufferable.
Becca and Lindsay played Io and Nyx.
Ooh.
That's the tethered name.
Io was a she turned into a cow, right?
Oh.
Greek myth.
What was
Didn't Zeus
and Nyx
do it to her? Zeus turned into a bull to do it with her.
Yeah. And Nyx means nothing.
Means nothing. Yeah, because they're so vapid.
Yeah. But my favorite one of these, and I don't even remember who this character is. I think it's just a random one of them. Is Kara Howard is the actress, but her Hayward. I'm sorry, Kara Hayward. But her regular character was Nancy, and her tethered character was Sid.
Oh, right, Sid and Nancy. I did catch that one.
So
I was right. She was a cow.
So yeah, I feel like that's about good enough for the background. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of layers we'll get to as we kind of go through it. But I do have a few reviews from Letterboxd. It has
I don't
93.
even want to hear people not liking it.
It has
I don't even
93% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Good.
And Letterboxd user Philip writes, "Rabbits, half a star."
All right.
Man, they should make people fucking answer a little questionnaire before they're able to put
Yeah.
a review on there. They gotta
Unless
slow people down.
unless it's going to be gay, 5 stars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why
that's the
did it
only
have to be rabbits? I hate rabbits.
Rabbits.
Half a
That
star.
would have been really funny if that's what Lupita Nyong'o said as she walked down the escalator at the end.
I hate rabbits. Yeah.
Oh, duck season.
Yeah, Letterboxd user Bambi writes, "What did they do with all the rabbit shit?" 5 stars.
Fair
They
enough.
ate it, I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's fiber.
Yeah, that's what the mirror image
Also,
of
what do they
raisin
feed
is.
the rabbits?
Rabbits.
Sorry, I'm asking too many
It's
questions.
rabbits all the way down.
So they used the rabbit pellets to for fertilizer to grow crops for the rabbits.
That's a
That's a stretch.
yeah. Because they are
Of course it's
underground.
stretch.
They ate them so fast. No, because they were grown. These were grown rabbits.
Yeah. Let's see. Based by Dom writes, "Too scary, half a star."
Oh, too scary.
Poor kid.
And
Yeah, what were they in the market for?
and Letterboxd user Aaron writes, "Too scary, 5 stars."
Hello.
Same review, half a star or 5 stars.
Perspective, man.
Yeah.
It's all about perspective.
So I think that's about it for the background. We ready to jump into the movie, guys?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, here we go. This is us.
Here we are, folks.
This is us.
Take us as we are.
We open on text telling us about how many unused systems of tunnels there are below the United States.
Wait, Tex?
Text.
Oh, I was like,
A string
heard
of
text.
text.
Tim Heidecker is the
I was
narrator.
like, I don't remember anyone talking. Okay, text.
Yeah. Black background, white text. We fade into 1986. There's a shot of a TV playing an ad for Hands Across America and talking about the weather in San Francisco.
Okay, the music for Hands Across America, is that the music from Hands Across America, or is that the music from the 80s aerobics bit from Key and Peele?
Oh,
because that's the real
Maybe
music from the
that.
aerobics thing that they're making fun of. But it
I
sounds
cannot speak
just
to
like
it being the actual anything. Yeah, I don't know that there was a. I mean, there probably was a song, right?
Yeah, there had to have been a jingle for it because
there-
it was TV in the
there,
80s.
there was an
yeah.
actual song that charted that was much like
That was
We Are the
Hands
World.
Across.
It just wasn't as popular, right? I remember it was Hands Across America. Like I remember the chorus a little bit.
So that
I
was
just wanted
that
to
was
do
the,
Wings.
that was the melody. Then it was just really similar to the aerobics your wife and child are in the hospital bit.
I want to talk about some. So, the Goonies is on the shelf.
Yep.
Chud.
Yep. The right stuff.
The right
Also,
stuff,
which is very interesting.
Yeah, that one's interesting. The others I can point to exactly in the movie.
Yeah.
Thought there was another one. There's a Friday Nights that was home recorded, which Friday Nights was sort of it was like Saturday Night Live.
Oh,
Michael
yeah.
Richards was on
That's
it. Larry
right.
David was on it.
Huh. Then we cut to the Santa Cruz boardwalk. We meet Adelaide. She's a little girl. Her dad is not paying attention to her as he does the games. He wins her a Thriller t-shirt.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
So the only thing Child Adelaide or Child Red ever says is number 11. I want that one. Like she just talks about wanting the shirt. After that, she doesn't say another thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just interesting.
Oh,
and mom is worried that it'll give her nightmares because she got freaked out when she actually saw the Thriller video.
Yeah.
Which happened to a lot of us.
Do you think
like kids, the thing that scared her, she's interested about it.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
she wants the shirt because she's already gone through the experience of watching the video.
I remember at like age 6, maybe 5, 6, being absolutely terrified of a Quiet Riot poster.
The one where he's screaming, he's got the mask on and the straight jacket.
It's the it's not, it wasn't a straight jacket. It was him, like the mask guy. I can't remember what his name is. But and it was like hell behind him, like evil demons.
It's also a convenient device when there's switching identities. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Later on, Red puts the shirt on.
Oh, speaking of t-shirts, there's a lot of t-shirts in this movie. But this is our first Black Flag t-shirt.
Oh, yeah.
First of 2, and this is a white Black Flag t-shirt with black stripes. Jordan Peele said he liked the symbolism of the ones because 11/11, we see it multiple
Oh,
times.
okay.
Right.
And
yes.
the black flag symbol is a black flag that's just 4 stripes. So
Okay.
we
Huh.
see it later on one of the twins. They're wearing a black one with white.
Okay, very interesting. So
Just real quick, Jeremiah 11:11 is the verse where God's like, "I'm going to bring my shit down on you, and it's going to be hardcore,
right.
and you're gonna ask me for help, and I'm not going to do anything." And it was in response to the Israelites in Babylon worshiping.
Yeah.
The exact verse is, therefore,
calves.
thus saith the Lord, behold, I will bring evil upon them, which they shall not be able to escape, and though they shall cry unto me, I will not hearken unto them.
Petty,
Mine was cooler.
cruel,
That's
and
why you should come
vindictive.
see me at the cool church.
Yeah.
Josh was quoting the King Ralph version.
Yes, that's right. King Ralph.
The King Ralph Bible.
Yes.
My cat's breath smells like cat food.
Yeah, so she wanders off onto the beach and then enters a fun house. So the fun house in 1986 has a pretty racist Native American character.
Right. It's like find
Well, the
yourself
whole-
vision quest.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It
the whole
was,
thing inside
the-
too is very Disney racist.
Yeah.
Native
The
American.
shaman's vision quest.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
in the
Shaman's vision
and in
quest.
2019, it's just a wizard. So
Yeah.
Right. But nothing's changed inside. It's still like the owl.
Right. They just
Pocahontas,
like slapped,
whitewashed it.
Yep, whitewashed it, slapped a wizard on top, and called it a day.
Well, because after the indigenous tribes came wizards.
Yeah. So
I mean, Al's an anthropologist. He can tell us it was. It was the West Indians and then wizards.
So okay, so just real quick before we get too far.
The great North American wizarding.
Yes.
Yes. The wizarding world of Neolithic.
So just real quick, I meant to mention this when we were talking about the names. So the Jordan Peele has basically said as much, but the family, although there are 4 members, represents the classic storytelling trope of the 5-man band, where you've got the hero, the warrior, the comic relief, the wizard, and the lancer. The hero, of course, would be Adelaide. The warrior would be the girl.
Dad.
Not dad. Dad's the comic relief. You would think it's the dad, but he's actually the comic relief.
Yeah, he gets injured pretty quick, and Jordan's the one that uses the car to.
The wizard would be Jason.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely the wizard.
And
he's even doing magic.
Jordan Peele say that he's the mage of the group.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the lancer, which means the opposite, that one which is opposed to the hero, is the concept of the tethered overall.
Oh.
Well, and maybe even specifically read because she is a person.
It may be read specifically.
Well,
she can speak. Nobody else can speak.
Yeah. And she is technically not red. So she is technically
right.
She would have been the 4th member of that band.
So maybe so from a certain point of view, she's the hero, and who we know as Adelaide, who's actually red, could be the lancer.
It's what I love about this movie. I
think that's how the movie ends. I think that Jason is us at the very end.
This is so much better than Inception with the question at the end. The open-ended, what happened?
So many things are better than Inception.
Oh, yeah, for real. Well, but that's a movie that has famously an ambiguous ending.
Yes.
Whereas this also has an ambiguous ending, but it's satisfying because it's like, oh shit, that's so bad.
Yeah,
and then the roll credits.
And and what does Jason know?
But see, Jason's the most perceptive out of the family.
He is, and he was also.
Don't forget. We know we're not there yet, but there's a gap of time where Jason and Red are by themselves.
Exactly. Yeah. What did Red tell him?
We don't know what Red tells him or even shows him. We see him again later on. He's in a locker and he's terrified. Maybe he's just terrified of seeing his mom totally primal out, or maybe he got a peek behind the curtain and he knows what's up.
To the layers of this movie, it's both of those things to us, the viewer.
There's also a very interesting theory about Jason, which I don't totally buy, but I'll talk about it at the end.
Okay.
So, all right. So she enters the fun house. She encounters her doppelganger in the House of Mirrors. Then we pretty much hard cut to a credit sequence played over a wall of rabbits and cages that are in a classroom.
I was so confused.
2 minutes and 50 seconds of rabbits.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of rabbits.
I was so confused. I had no idea what to expect.
Well, look,
when this movie
tricks are for kids.
The rabbits thing is such a bold, weird thing to focus on as much as he did. Mm-hmm. It's like smoking in space almost, where it's like, we can smoke in space because they put nitrates in the atmosphere. Like that one-line movie trope thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The rabbits are his answer to that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how did all those people live underground? And he's like, just rabbits. I don't know. They multiply really fast. Don't think about it.
Well, right. And there's no real symbolism, according to him, to them specifically. But I mean, they're fodder anyways. They're prey for, up on the surface world, they're prey.
Yeah.
And then also they're also a symbol of,
fertility?
Experimentation. Well, definitely fertility, but scientific experimentation,
and magic, because you pull a rabbit out of a hat.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That was the
and
thing
the fertility, like you said,
because
they're just reproducing down there.
Yeah.
The government gave up on them, but they just keep making both rabbits and people.
If you notice, anytime that the family is eating later on, the only one who doesn't ever eat any meat is Adelaide. She only eats fresh fruits and vegetables.
Yep.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I did notice that when they all had fast food, and I thought like she's just the healthy dancer type.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because she doesn't eat meat at any point when they do.
There are lots of clues about how maladjusted she is. Like, because on the surface, it's like, yeah, that's probably how I would interact with Kitty, Elizabeth Moss' character, because she is so. But at the same time, you get the vibe that like Addie just doesn't know how to talk to people very well, even after all these years.
Yeah.
Well, and she says as much. I'm not good at talking to people.
Yeah.
But, which is a weird thing to say to someone
social anxiety type thing to say, like, I'm not good at small talk.
Mm-hmm.
But she comes off as like she's not good at it.
Yeah.
It is nature.
It is a thing that she has to actively do. It does not just come naturally.
Right. We cut to 33 years later. Adult Adelaide is sleeping. While as are the kids, while her husband drives. Gabe, Zora, and Jason, they're on their way to the vacation cabin.
This is our first Shining reference.
Mm-hmm.
Helicopter shot of a car.
Mm-hmm.
Also, that Janelle Monáe song, I like that. It's such a mellow, soothing, feminine song to open this movie to.
Yeah,
I love that choice. I literally, like, later that day, I was like, I'm listening to that whole album. Holy shit, that song is so good.
Yeah. They arrive at the cabin. They eat lunch. They discuss going to the beach later, the Santa Cruz beach. We cut back to the past, and we see that Adelaide's parents, when she was a kid, after the incident at the boardwalk, had to go to a therapist because after she wouldn't talk for a while.
Okay, so again, it doesn't seem all that odd on the surface, but then once you know more things, so she's listening intently. It just seems like a kid who is trying to hear what the grown-ups are saying about her. But no. This is a creature trying to pick up interactions. She's there playing. I've seen lots of children play that way where they line all their toys up.
Mm-hmm.
That's not necessarily indicative of anything. But when you put it in the context of this weird thing that came from underground and is now trying to live on the surface, I don't know. It's just like
playing human.
Yeah. She's like, what do I do with these? I guess I line them all up.
Well, and that's also, of course, a foreshadowing for the Hands Across America.
Yep.
Yes, and tethering, which is what he said the Hands Across was about.
Yeah,
she is incapable of speaking. That's the most interesting thing on Rewatch is that kid in that moment is not listening to what's happening. She doesn't understand
the tethered
word
can't
of
speak.
it.
So the fact that she learned it is very,
Well, but also with this set, like that's that thing of like, so, there's that whole two-tier system in America where, poor people are kept down. They're drug addicts. They go to jail, but it has nothing to do with who they are. It's the situation they were born into. If they can get out of that situation and join the haves or, the then they can also learn to speak and become a part of society. That's
just pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and the doctor says, give her the opportunity to draw and to dance, and eventually she'll speak.
Express herself.
Yeah.
So she was dancing and drawing before she was learning the language.
Yeah.
Certainly.
So later on, we cut back to the present. Adelaide is very resistant to going to the Santa Cruz beach. She eventually agrees. Her husband kind of talks her into it. Jason?
She doesn't agree. And he says, okay. And he goes and buys a boat. That's why she ends up going. Yeah. Well, he bought it. I think he bought it.
I think you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Bought the boat. Okay. I thought it came with the cabin.
And then he's driving the boat and it turns left the whole time.
The cabin's in their
can't
family.
Ride the boat. The cabin was her mom's. It was her
grandmother's.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it had her dance studio downstairs, and there was that painting of little her and her. But she was probably always unsettled about going there because she knows that Santa Cruz is where
pretty close.
Yeah, so there's rabbits everywhere. Zora has a rabbit on her shirt. There's a rabbit in the living room somewhere. Also, she's whistling Itsy Bitsy Spider when she's in the Hall of Mirrors to give herself that like sonar kind of like echo. And there's a spider on the table that she sees.
And we hear
there are spiders.
We hear other people like whistling Itsy Bitsy Spider throughout the film.
So you got your tethered, you got your spider webs
Yeah.
tethering so many things together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I'm sorry. One more thing about Zora mentioning the fluoride on their way to the beach.
Yes.
I love that she's a conspiracy theorist. Like, it's so on point for like a kid her age with media, but I just love it because this is all about conspiracy.
Well,
It
and
even
also-
starts with that red herring of a conspiracy
Yeah,
theory.
well, and
with
also
the tunnels.
fluoride in the
Tunnels.
water was one of those like 80s conspiracy things.
So much so.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was one of the first, like, the government's controlling us,
Mhm.
and they're doing it by eliminating cavities.
Yeah, they're doing it by helping us have healthy teeth and
Yeah,
gums.
yeah. Britain, no conspiracies over there.
No.
Great job, guys.
Britain is free of government control.
Yeah, they don't control our minds or teeth.
Yeah. So Jason gets stuck in the closet. It locks behind him. And there's a point here where they say, "Didn't this happen to you last year?" Adelaide has a flashback to her learning ballet as a kid. Then we cut to them heading to Santa Cruz. This is where
it's also her remembering the dancing. I'm sorry, but it's also the intensity of the mirror. Like, there's a real fear in her eyes, not knowing what she's going to see. Or
reflections. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Independent reflections are creepy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like they've been done in lots of horror movies, but the subject turns and the image doesn't, or vice versa. It's creepy. It's a creepy effect.
Yeah. Anybody who has taken psychedelics at any point in their life knows, do not look in the mirror. Or if you
always look in the mirror.
See, I knew there was two kinds of people, Brian. I knew you were looking. I knew you were a look in the mirror type. I knew it.
I'm a stare down my pupil kind of guy. How deep into my own eyeball can I see?
I'm not a big fan of mirrors in general.
I like to stare into the
They're
void.
liars.
See it staring back. Yeah, they are liars.
They
We look
are.
weird in mirrors.
Well, they're all different. It's about how the glass was bent.
So at this is where we get I Got 5 on it by Loonies, which is a very Loonies are a really interesting early 90s San Francisco hip hop group if anyone wants to go down a rabbit hole. That whole scene was kind of crazy. But
there were so many songs about just how weed is fun.
Yeah.
And we should get some weed.
Loonies was originally called Looney Tunes, but then they got sued by Warner Brothers and had to change their name to Loonies.
Like Green Jello. Yeah, it happened to them.
It's not about drugs. It's a dope song.
It's a dope song.
Song.
That's funny.
Don't do drugs.
The I Got 5 on it, I think, is another reference to the fact that there is a fifth member to this family.
Oh.
That's my personal interpretation.
That's interesting.
I haven't seen a lot about it, and that one is kind of, it's very heavily featured in, the commercials to this. It's a very memorable scene, and I feel like there is something to it, and that's the closest interpretation I've been able to personally come up with.
Yeah, I'll buy it.
But Jordan Peele, if you're listening and care to correct me, please do.
We know you're listening. Please become a patron.
Yeah. So then they on the way, they witness the paramedics taking away the body of an old man holding a Jeremiah 11:11 sign,
leading us to believe that he was the young man that was holding it on the boardwalk.
Exactly.
He's just been standing there for 33 years.
Exactly. That's
at the beach. The family meet their friends, Josh and Kitty Tyler. Kitty is
whitest white.
Yeah, Kitty is the most like 1950s wasp name ever for that character.
And Josh, I'll go ahead and say it. It's the douchebag name of our generation. There are definitely some fucking lame ass Joshes.
I mean, there was a lot of Joshes from the 70s and early 80s. Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason it was real popular. But So he's just the most obnoxious sort of. Obviously, they work together. He and Gabe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he's the boss but they're in just that male competition.
Yeah.
But I love that Josh's shirt just says "fragile" on it.
yes, a fragile white man.
Yeah, he's a fragile white man. It's got it right there. And his tattoos are ridiculous, like comically ridiculous.
I didn't actually pay attention to the tattoos. What were
he has a Popeye anchor. Just like so many things that like a middle-aged white guy would get to seem tough. It was just perfect. Yeah. And then she's like, "Do you want some rosé? It's delicious."
Yeah,
like,
the rosé. Rosé at the beach. And
it's delicious. I'm sure it is.
And the blonde
They make the best vodka in a glass.
And the twin blonde daughters, of course, are Becca and Lindsay. They
total assholes, ragging on a little kid for being a little kid.
Right? Like God.
Beach toys are for babies. I know, man. I'm trying to do my book.
Yeah,
he was making a tunnel on the beach.
Yes, he was.
He was making a tunnel. That's another interesting thing to note about Jason for our later theory. So they spend the day at the beach.
You all right, Brian?
I didn't catch the tunnel thing. That's like, wait, I want to know what the theory is. I'm so
because
curious.
oddly, one of the mean girls even, like, what was this supposed to be anyway?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I was making a tunnel.
Yeah.
Also, those girls at no point acknowledge Zora.
Yeah. Oh, never. Mm. And she's the closest.
Never once.
Yeah. To their.
They are the same age. They do not make eye contact. They do not nod at her.
Zora rolls her eyes so animatedly when she hears that that's who they're going to see. Like
and
I'm sure she's.
That's not an unusual thing.
No.
Also the dad's relationship with the other dad being like, oh yeah, he's going to tell me about his fucking boat that he got.
I was just going to say.
All of his things, and they have a relationship, but it's not a healthy one by any stretch.
No, and so imagine her as well. Like, so if the dad's in competition with the shitty dad who has everything that's a little bit better, and imagine those two insufferable chicks and Zora. Like, ew, your phone is old. Ew, your this is old. Your that is old. Your brother's a little kid.
Right.
All kinds of shit.
Later on, Jason wanders off and sees a man standing with blood dripping on his hand. That is the same actor as we saw going away in the ambulance with the 1111 sign.
Yep.
So
he's the first one out.
Yeah.
It's the first time we see the red jumper.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is
under the trench.
So he's the first tethered.
This is the first tether we see, in the modern times, and the first tethered to murder his above ground.
Well, and he's always posted up by the entrance.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. He's been there for 35 years. So it kind of speaks that maybe his counterpart would be one of the first to wander because he knows every pavement. Yep. He knows every board on that boardwalk.
Yep.
Clever. I just realized that.
And of course, Adelaide gets freaked out about him wandering away. It, of course, mirrors how she wandered away at the beach when she was little. Or, how Adelaide wandered away.
This is another horror movie homage. Sitting on the beach, full of people, fade focus, fade sound, mom screams and runs around. It's Jaws.
And Jason is wearing a Jaws t-shirt.
Yep.
And one of my favorite shots with that Jaws t-shirt is later. But that Jaws t-shirt has one of the coolest shots in this whole fucking movie. So
they decide to go home.
And she's upset like a mother would be. So there's no way to say what's too upset or not. But she's extra like.
And her kid disappeared at the site where she had a traumatic experience.
Right. That's what I mean. So there's nothing peculiar about it. But her knowing that like the entrance to her own personal hell is just a few feet away. Mm-hmm. That's just wild.
Yeah.
It's a wild psychological fucking thing.
Yep. That night, Adelaide puts the kids to bed. She tells Gabe that she feels scared and unlike herself, then tells her the doppelganger story. Or tells
I just
him.
wanted to say that I felt so bad for that couple, imagining them having to sleep in that small, uncomfortable bed.
Right, a tiny bed.
He is huge.
He takes up the whole bed by himself.
Yeah.
It's all
He's like
rickety.
6'5". He's a giant man.
It just reminded me of like old beds in my grandmother's guest rooms. Just fucking
When she
old and
tells him,
uncomfortable.
she tells him her story, and he just like, it was all in mirrors though. And she goes, it wasn't a reflection. You just see him be like, okay.
Okay.
Shit. All right.
And his
That's-
response is great. It's like, I'm surprised you never told me this before. And we're
Yeah.
surprised.
Right? And
So she says a couple of things though that are really freaky. I feel like it's been following me everywhere I go. Ever since then, she's been following me. And that's true.
Yeah.
Everywhere that she's
Right.
ever gone, the shadow has followed her underground.
Yep.
And see, we don't know it. We just think that's part of the paranoia of that trauma, but she really is. So that's again like that, the psychology of being replaced, not just murdered. You know, the real her got trapped underground.
Right.
She could have killed her.
She could have.
Like, you know, that's like your
in some ways
assailant
would have
putting
been-
you in prison and then going about your life.
Killing her in some ways would have been kinder.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not like a
yeah.
kidnapping situation. They've trapped you in another world and they've taken over your life. That's I don't know. That's heavy shit.
Yeah.
Because if you've got a gun, you can take down a killer.
Yeah. Yeah. Jason notices a family of 4 in the driveway and tells them about it. Gabe isn't.
The timing
go
of
ahead,
this
Brian.
shot is just such a perfect horror movie thing. She just tells the story. He goes like, okay, all right. She's like, we need to leave now. And he's like, whoa, you're freaking out a little bit. Can we wait until tomorrow? Bam, the power cuts. Dad turns and Jason is in the hallway and scares the hell out of him.
And I think it has the same impact as like, they're here. You know, there were different like horror movie tags like that. And it's just like, whoa.
There's a family in the driveway. And then what? There's no family in the driveway.
Threatening, but also so threatening.
And it's
the kid, the daughter not even knowing what's going on too. Like everybody slowly gathering the information faster than us too, which is unusual for a horror movie.
Yes. Well, and what's interesting is like, it's not, there are people in the driveway. There's a family in the driveway.
Because the psychology of a threat. Yeah, they see it as less threatening, but it's literally 4 people. But if there was one creepy guy, that would be automatically scarier. Why?
Yeah.
You add 3 more to that, and it's suddenly less.
Well, and
weird the psychology.
I think of the logic behind that. Of course, there's a family outside. They're probably wondering if they're probably wondering if our power went out. I'll go out and talk to them, and we'll get this sorted out.
There have been murderers that have used that as a way to lure people. Like, look, I have a wife and a kid. As if that's not how all human beings were created, both evil and otherwise. Look, I have a wife and a kid. How we all do it, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Even the bad people had a mom and a dad.
Yeah, it's a real standard issue.
Yeah. So Gabe goes out to confront them. They don't leave. He goes back out a second time with a bat. They still don't leave.
The pompous dad energy.
You want to get crazy? We can get crazy.
Yeah, he's changed his voice, his vernacular.
The way the family just goes and just scatters, that scared the shit out of me.
But he mentions the cops.
Yeah, the police.
The cops are on their way. So then
their
she's like,
way,
all right.
which is funny because it's a black family. He's a big black dude who's like, we already called the cops, dude. Like they telegraph as a white family because they're playing the role of like middle class. Like we have to be white to be okay. And at the moment that he's threatened, he's like, I'm gonna be a little.
He codes
white.
He immediately code switches. Yeah, to try to scare them. Yeah,
to scare them with his blackness.
Exactly. Yeah.
But little does he know that they are so much scarier.
Yeah. Adelaide has already called the police. They say they're 14 minutes away. Spoilers, the police never show up. There's a lot going on in town.
God, I love that, though. I love the fucking slow reveal of that because we're like, okay, the cops are going to show up and everything's going to be over.
Time gets kind of drippy.
It really does.
Yeah.
We know that morning comes, so it's not like it's totally. But once the tethered enter the home, it's kind of hard to gauge how long
It's
everyone's doing it.
Almost feels real time. From
It almost does.
Yeah.
I think so too. I think that once that happens, we're kind of it's a couple hours before dawn kind of thing.
But then that means that whole encounter in the living room was under the 14 minutes they were expecting the cops to.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
no, the cops lied.
But they never show up.
They weren't coming.
The cops, they
No,
were
no, no.
The lines were busy, basically.
Yeah.
Or becoming busy at that point.
Yeah.
Right.
I assume that our family was one of the first.
I think they were.
Yeah.
Because Adelaide was in charge. Red was in charge.
So yeah, they break into the house and corner the family on a couch. They take Gabe's bat and use it to injure his leg.
I loved the bat thing because he's got the bat in his hand and he's holding the door and he loses the bat through the door and the bat comes down
and he gets hit
through the door and hits his knee. That's exactly how that would happen.
And it was really loud.
Mm-hmm.
That
sounded like an aluminum bat.
The aluminum bat.
Oh yeah.
I forgot to mention it real quick that when she saw the drawing that Jason had done of the, like, what a weird perspective for a kid to draw a drawing of, like the back of his own head and then the back of another person's head.
Yes.
Like, it's just a crazy point of view. Children don't everything's first person to a kid for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
So it's weird.
It is.
to draw the back of your own head.
Another thing to remember about Jason. So we
yeah, exactly.
So yeah, the intruders are their doppelgangers. Pluto, Umbre, Abraham, and Red.
And Ringo.
Yeah. Red is the only double that can speak, barely. She has a very guttural, raspy voice.
She's out of practice.
She hadn't used her voice.
And also, so spoilers, we find out at the end that Red choked the original Adelaide out, possibly damaging her throat.
Yes, also that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she choked her enough to knock her out.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, a combination of those things, right?
She tells them they're called the Tethered. They share a soul with their counterparts and have come to untether themselves.
Have we all seen Invasion of the Body Snatchers?
I've seen
73.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
All right. Well, you know how when they reveal that somebody knows what's going on, they just point and go, with this terrible guttural sound that freaks you the fuck out. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the same kind of thing. Just the sound is so inhuman.
Yeah.
Well, I love Winston Duke's performance through this whole scene. He's like, "Excuse me, family, what's happening? Why is this happening? What are you doing?"
And just like a man, he's like, "You could have my wallet. You could have the cut." She's like,
he's trying to get control over the situation.
Right.
She knows exactly what's happening. These are her chickens.
Sora's even like, nobody.
Yeah.
You could have the boat. Nobody wants the boat.
Nobody wants the boat, Dad.
So
Nobody wants
let's
the boat,
not forget that throughout all of this, it's still also a funny movie.
Yes.
There's humor.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Even Red has a moment. So who are you people? And you know what her response is? We are Americans.
Yeah.
If any other movie had delivered that line to me, I would have been laughing my ass off.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so weird, so out of place.
Well, and also
makes so much
But then
sense.
at the same time, so charged because you could think about it on so many levels.
Right. It's saying we are also Americans, even though we are the underclass.
We are cut from the same
Even
cloth.
though, we're we're fentanyl addicted, living on the streets
or even the soulless consumerism, and the just fucking like rabbits. Sorry, go on. I got sidetracked.
Okay, so at this point, they all kind of get separated. Gabe runs out does Zora run out too? I didn't know.
Gabe doesn't run out. Abraham drags him out.
That's
so
right.
everyone's evenly matched, right?
Abraham drags him. That's right.
It's the exact physical strength and weight of you.
Mhm.
So everyone's like really manhandling each other, but it makes sense because, it's like Winston Duke is dragging Winston Duke.
Right. Gabe gets dragged out. Zora runs. The Jason and Pluto go together into the closet. And then Adelaide gets handcuffed to the table by Red.
Tethered.
Tether yourself to the
Tether.
table is what she says to her.
I guess I hadn't figured out that her name was Red at this point because I was calling her Shaddy.
Oh,
Or Shadow Eddie.
Like a shadow. Oh, I was like
Shadow
Shaddy,
Eddie.
like a shitty shadow.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if they ever call her Red at any point. Like, we don't actually get the name.
I'm not sure.
We don't really get their names. It's just in the credits. They.
She did introduce her family by name.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, not her.
But no, you're right. If she refers to herself at all, it's the shadow.
Yeah.
She says, the shadow got this, while the little girl got that. The shadow.
Yeah.
So yeah, it stands to reason. Yeah, tethered. The first time we hear tethered is in the commercial for Hands Across America. That's what the announcer. That's a word the announcer uses. So again, it's one of these like that word was implanted in them.
So in the closet, Jason discovers that Pluto is burned. His face is burned and his mouth is burnt shut.
He also, the way he discovers this, though, is by realizing that he can drive.
Right.
He can drive his tethered person.
Yes.
So once the tethered kid Pluto puts his mask on over his face, he then pulls his mask off to make Pluto remove his mask.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But then he gets like, and he doesn't freak out, but he gasps, and then he slowly puts it back on so that Pluto will put his back on.
Right.
Yeah.
He realizes
Without overreacting.
He's the most perceptive out of everybody in the family. He's got a little bit of the weird shining in him.
Well, and
for
he's,
sure.
He's the
one that says the titular line.
They're us.
Yeah.
It's
they're
us.
us.
And he's
Us.
well, yes. And he's the only one who seems to be able to actively control his shadow.
Right.
Interesting.
Yes, that's right. Even at the end, he does.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't even consider that nobody else.
Or
even
the
tries.
youngest. Maybe there's less independence.
There's
You
that.
know what I mean?
There. Yeah. So they.
I'm so excited for your theory, Thoreau.
Well, it's not really
So
my
excited.
theory. It's one I ran across on the internet, and I don't 100% buy it, but it's really interesting. In fact, I definitely 100% do not buy it, but it is also interesting. So Gabe, gets out on a boat on the lake and it kills Abraham. There's a, I don't know. Is this more Jaws stuff? He could like on a boat.
I love that even the tethered version of him has like the dad mentality, just the banging on the outboard motor with the fist. I don't know.
I also love the fact that this big scary man has poked a hole through the garbage bag and is looking out of it with one eye.
One eye that he had poked with a finger.
Yeah.
Just watching. It's such a funny setup for him because he's enormous. He's a big dude. But then he climbs out of the bag to throw him out and then gets fucking knocked out of the. Oh, it's so
At one
funny.
point, Abraham turns around and he like slumps over in the bag to play possum in the bag. But yeah. So he does.
Yeah. So he eventually. So Jason is able to trap Pluto in the closet. Pluto starts making some guttural sounds that Red comes to investigate. So then Adelaide gets out of the table. She breaks the table enough to get out, even though she's still handcuffed. She gets. Meanwhile, Zora's gotten away from. Umbre, yeah.
Oh, because Umbre murdered a guy.
Yes, Umbre stopped to murder a random.
Well, I mean, he started yelling at some kid on the street.
Well, to be fair, the
This
kid
is what
was
happens when you fuck a stranger in the ass, Larry.
yeah. He was yelling at a kid that's standing on top of his car. I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
So yeah, but she comes back to the house. Abraham was able to kill. Abraham was killed by Gabe, and they all get onto the boat, and escape on the boat for now.
Dude, the moment when they all jump on the boat and you see little Pluto kind of scrambling like a little spider onto the boardwalk.
Yeah.
And then you see the other two pop up out of nowhere. Just the timing.
Yeah.
The blocking of these shots. He did so much with so little, because they could have been like,
I was going to say,
screeching. They could have been like crying because their dad is dead. Nope.
All of the horror in this is minimalistic, which is always the way to go. Right down to sometimes it's just people's eyes in this. It's just
the look on the girl's
the way
face
that
when
people
she's
are
in the
holding
mirror.
an expression.
Yeah.
Red's eyes.
Yeah.
And the smile. Yeah, it's all very minimalistic and just creepy.
Yeah.
A vibe. It's way scarier if you create a vibe, which is why he was into the Twilight Zone.
Absolutely. So meanwhile, we check in with the Tyler family in their giant, stupid white person glass house.
Yeah, Josh let us know they're right across the bay, the harbor.
Yeah.
Yeah. They all get murdered by their doppelgangers.
Their glass house.
He opens the door and says it's OJ when she says investigate that sound. Of course, they do the typical investigate the sound.
Right.
Well, and it's funny, the OJ thing, because that's the name of the main character in Nope. Who's not that he's naming his the OJ obviously is a joke about OJ. Also, OJ in Nope rides a white Bronco, but we'll get there when we get there.
And it's a fucking 30-year-old joke.
I love the subversion of him being like, I just want to sit here and have a drink. Because in a traditional horror movie, the dad would be like, yes, wife, I must protect our family.
Right. I'll investigate. Yeah.
As the penis wearer, I must protect us. Like, but in this, it's like, no, dude, this guy's like, what do they call that when you're like, I don't know how to wash my clothes, babe.
Oh yeah, he's like
weaponized
inept.
What is it?
Yeah,
weaponized ineptitude.
Yeah.
Weaponized
ineptitude, but also like the trope of like the useless husband in like yeah.
Well, and just the dismissive. You know, he's talking about alcohol, but she's an alcoholic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, she's ready to have thirds. Then a few minutes later, he's like, is it vodka clock? You know what I mean? Like, just that kind of asshole. We've been around that dude, right? You know, it's all of his humor is mostly based around making fun of his wife.
Well, yeah, and then like when they're at the beach, like he says something to her, and she's like, "How about I fucking hate you?" And he's like, "That'll work."
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, also the like bad wife trope, the boomer bad wife thing.
Right. The spoiled daughters.
Wife bad. Yeah. But so the Tyler family, they're all attacked and murdered. Wilsons arrive. They get attacked as well. The kids,
I like the version of Alexa is Ophelia, but I like
Ophelia, yeah. Yeah. Which is, and of course, like there's the joke about when she says call the police. Like, here's Fuck the Police by NWA. Which is on the nose for how those fucking things work.
Did you guys notice when the twins are dead up on the second floor that it's the exact shot of the twins from The Shining? Like they're in the exact same physical positions of the two crazy
I'm
daughters.
so glad you brought that up because I completely forgot that.
He even raises the camera up a step as if you're still walking up the steps. The camera goes a little bit higher so you can see them both in perspective. Yeah, pretty awesome.
Before the kids go upstairs is one of my favorite moments of the movie. The girl's got the golf club. The boy doesn't have a weapon. They look at each other.
Geode.
Yeah, well, they look at each other and they hear the mom upstairs screaming and they look at each other and they just nod and the boy grabs the geode and they quietly walk up the stairs together. I fucking love that in silence, these two kids know exactly what they're doing. Mom is in danger. We have to go. Are we going together? Yeah, okay, let's go. Like it's this whole, there's a lot of communication happening on screen that goes without word. I love that because in a normal movie they would have been
take out the head.
mom's in danger. We have to save her. You go first. No, I'm afraid. Like, no, none of that shit. These kids are like, fuck, we have to do this.
I think, again, it's that undercurrent of we're not watching white people navigate a horror movie.
Yes.
I love
exactly,
how capable they all are. Yeah.
What a 13-year-old girl and a 10-year-old boy. I imagine Bart and Lisa in this. They'd be freaking out and sweating and crying and shouting at each other.
Yeah.
These two kids, cold as ice. They got ice in their fucking veins.
Yeah.
Well, there are a lot of people that tell scary stories that believe that helplessness is a key to the fear.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, feeling out of control and helpless is a fearful experience for human beings, but it's not the only way to be scared. You can be capable. Well, that's why we love the final female. You know, the Sydneys and the Laurie Strodes and you don't have to be helpless, and it could still be scary.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Tex chases Gabe out back onto the boat, on the boat again.
Oh, did we miss what's her name? Dying, the wife dying, and she's like, "Help me!" And he goes to reach down to give her a handshake.
Oh,
Too
yeah.
slow.
He does the too slow.
Yes.
Hair slick.
So douchey.
Because he's been watching behavior from underground, and that's a thing that he picked up on.
He's tethered to a douche.
I imagine the husband is just insufferable if that's what his tethered version is doing.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's why Heidecker pulls it off so well.
The kids and Adelaide managed to kill Elizabeth Moss's tethered. He kills Tex out on the boat. And they come back in. They turn on.
He kills him with the freaking what's it called? The flare gun. Because he asks him, Did you get the life jackets? Yeah. Did you get this? Did you get a flare gun? I knew you'd forget the fucking flare gun.
You would forget the flare. What a
Chekhov's gun setup. He's like, if I go to the boat, I know this asshole has a fucking flare gun and I can light this thing on fire with it.
But it doesn't really work.
No, I think he kills him with brute strength.
Yeah.
He just beats him to death.
Yeah.
And they don't show us it happening. So they leave us in mystery as to whether or not Dad survives.
Yeah.
Which is another brilliant choice.
But they all survive. They come in, they turn on the TV, the news, and they learn that there's tethered murdering people all over the city, and joining hands to form a human chain, similar to Hands Across America.
And Addie has a plan. She wants to hit the road. And they are all incredulous because we all would be. But see, Addie knows where the Hellmouth is. Mm-hmm. So she's like, we got to get away from Santa Cruz, but without telling everyone that, which is a little fucked up on her own. But they're all coming from here.
There was an interesting comment. I forget who says it. Maybe it's Jason, but they don't know that they look like us yet.
Yeah.
I thought that was just a fascinating comment. They don't even know.
They don't know. Yeah. Just because not everyone's seeing there.
Screwed.
Yeah.
But it was all Red's plan. Because Kitty doesn't kill Addie as if she's been programmed to that one's for Red.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She even wants to. She puts the scissors to Addie's face and she's like, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
She's frustrated that she can't kill her.
Right.
All right.
And it's because Red is the leader. Because she is special.
Even though that homeless dude was the first guy out, it's Red's plan.
Yep. They the Wilsons decide to drive away. They're going to go to Mexico. While they're going out to the car, they forget the keys, and Adelaide has to go back in, and she has to fight one of the twins who wasn't quite dead yet. And she comes out, and they argue about who's going to drive. Zora wants to drive, which she asked about driving earlier. But eventually they see the family coming at them, so they just jump in the car and drive. Umbre jumps on top of the car. And there's this whole scene where Umbre is trying to get into the car. She has the scissors and is smashing at the window. And Zora eventually is able to brake, and she flies off the car and gets flung into a tree and gets impaled on a branch.
There's a tiny Jurassic Park reference when Addie gets out to go check her, and Winston Duke's like, and she got out of the car. Remember when Jeff Goldblum's the only one left in the Jeep? And nobody expected that.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, I hadn't thought about the Jurassic Park.
Yeah, some of these are subtle. Maybe I made them up. I don't know.
I think no, it's a Spielberg reference because he's a
I
huge
think so.
Spielberg fan.
Yeah.
Even later on, Red's like, "It's our time up here. It's our time." You know, that's a Goonies line, and we saw the
Yeah.
Goonies
Yes.
movie on the shelf.
Yes.
So they drive until light. They are at the boardwalk when it's light, and they see many townspeople killed, and they find the road blocked by a burning car and Pluto standing in front of it.
This daylight scene is just so fucking cool, man. It's been in dark the whole time except for the beach. And now it's day again, and there are bodies everywhere. The world is transformed.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like you said, Jason uses the fact that he knows that he's literally tethered to Pluto and starts backing up and backing up and backing up.
And
why was Addie so concerned with Pluto being engulfed in flames?
Because it's her son too. I think they are both
that's what
just
I
as
thought,
conflicted. Their children are their children. That's why she was like there with what's her name? Umbre was she was dying.
Mm-hmm.
Like she waited with her while she died.
Yeah.
Which is like the least she could do.
Yeah.
Or the most she could do, really. Yeah. And Jason identifies the trap.
Yes.
It's a trap. Get out of the car.
And he backs up to make Pluto back up into the fire.
He saves the day.
Yeah.
He saved everybody. They all would have died.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but while that's happening, Red shows up and snatches Jason when they're not looking and runs away with him into the underground.
I love that this is the most suspension of disbelief I had to do for this movie.
What?
How did she get away so quick? How did Jason not scream? How did no one see this happen? This is the only thing in the movie where I was like, I don't know how that happened.
This being is singularly focused.
Yeah.
She training. She has been training. It's
she has been waiting.
Ivan Draco, and he's ready to fight Rocky.
Honestly, though, she's like the Joker. She knew she was going to have to blow up a hospital eventually. You know, like how did we know that they knew? She's just
standing in the camouflage of that SUV. She steps out of the shadow of that car. She's completely
just in front of a burgundy vehicle.
Yeah,
in the daylight.
She disappears.
Yeah.
He's such a good director.
So she even snatched him real quickly. All right, I know we got to get
but and then she ran away. Yeah.
What I think is interesting is the kids. Both sets of kids are the only ones that are half tethered, half above ground. They're both 50-50.
Yeah.
Adelaide goes after Red into the funhouse, down into the tunnels underground. There's rabbits everywhere, but not a drop to drink. She finds Red in a classroom. This is a point where Red explains that the tethered are genetic clones created by the government to control the populace, but it failed and they were abandoned underground for apparently generations.
How long has this been happening?
And is it so? Yeah, that's one of my unanswered questions. Is there one for every American? Is it all the way under the entire country?
That's ostensibly what we're led to believe.
Or is it just a stripe through the middle from Santa Cruz to Georgia or something?
Yeah. Or we don't even know. Or is it just on the West Coast? Like, we don't know how far it goes.
Well, and what happens if you move? Yeah, I've got
and she makes a point of saying that they're humans. They just don't have but they're flesh and blood humans. So once abandoned, they just kept reproducing, just like the rabbits would.
Yeah,
they don't share a soul, right?
No, they do. That's what
she share a soul.
That's what Red says. Red says, but I mean, we don't. She doesn't know.
Yeah,
really.
She doesn't know that. Yeah.
The point being that, you can clone organic matter, but you can't clone a soul. That's
right, and
the classic sci-fi.
And the fact that they keep breeding exact doubles of kids
7
over
ounces.
the years means that there's something supernatural going on in some way, or super scientific sci-fi, if not supernatural. But yeah, so basically she spent years organizing them to escape, and take vengeance. Red and
They noticed that she was different because she was dancing.
and could talk.
Yeah.
Well, but I think the dancing thing, more than anything, it moved them.
Right.
They had an emotional response to something for the first time.
Because she wasn't just doing rope movements. Like she was expressively
expressing.
dancing
And
as if untethered.
And she has rhythm, whereas as the Adelaide we followed does not have rhythm, and none of the other tethered have rhythm.
Right.
And I would also, So Adelaide and Red basically get into a dance fight where Adelaide is trying to kill Red, and Red is dancing away and striking at her while she dances.
You know, I hadn't really put together that she was the better dancer of the two
and
out of that scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, Addie screams like a wounded animal in frustration that she's not connecting any of her blows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can't. I mean, I can't do it.
So finally, at the end, she is able to impale Red with the fireplace poker, which she's had all along. All through this, she's held on to the one weapon.
I love that she the moment we see it on a rewatch, it's just, you see that she is like, she's connected to this.
Yeah, she's clinging to it. Yeah. And then she's able to strangle her to death with the cuffs that she has on, the tether, what tethered her.
Tethers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She rescues Jason from a locker, and Jason takes one of the rabbits. Jason is terrified at this point still, even after he's out.
For the first time, he's looking at his mother sketchy. When she opens that locker, she has to convince him in that moment. She even tries to do the hand thing and everything. He's not buying it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't feel like he's buying it.
He is the most perceptive member of the family, as we've seen multiple times. He's the one who identified that he could control them. He saw the trap.
Again,
he catches.
There's
Mom.
a time lapse. He's off screen for a certain amount of time.
Yep.
What is that conversation? That's such a great point, that Red can talk.
There's no way they didn't say anything to each other.
Mm-hmm.
She grabbed him from the parking lot, ran all the way to the boardwalk, ran down onto the beach, ran through the thing downstairs. Like, she might have hit him in a locker.
Well,
he might have hit himself in the locker.
The obvious question he would ask if anybody is abducting you is, where are you taking me?
Mm-hmm.
Where are we going? And the answer is not just underground. It's like, we're taking you to where your mom is from, something.
And Shining references, he's hiding in a metal locker like Danny hid from Jack in
Jurassic Park, which is an homage to The Shining.
Exactly. And she's limping at this point, similar
like
to how
Jack
limped in The Shining. Yeah.
And Ellie Sadler in Jurassic Park.
Yes.
And she is doing battle with herself. Because Jack, in those scenes, he's yelling at himself and smacking himself in the face.
Yeah.
At least my interpretation of that, he is fighting his base instincts to kill his family. She is fighting herself to protect herself, not really her family.
So yeah, they get back above ground. Them and the family get into an ambulance to drive away, and we get a flashback where we see that when she was a little kid, the tethered strangled her out, drug her down, switched the t-shirt, and switched places with her. This is when we get that reveal.
That this reveal is the last thing that they give us. And like the dad, Gabe getting dragged by Abraham, she is dragged through that whole underground world.
Yep. And of course, the final shots is Jason looking at her with what looks like fear in his eyes, and she smiles like the tethered smile.
Yeah. Fear, or at the very least, incredulity or suspicion.
Something.
He's given her the side eye, like, I don't know who got in this car. And if Red told him anything, then he's wondering who got into the car of his whole life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. He's clearly questioning everything in that moment.
Everything. Zora and Gabe are not. Jason is, as Jason saw behind the curtain.
Yeah, exactly.
They just assume that the right Addie came up from underground. But she went underground. 2 went. 1 came back. That's creepy as fuck.
Yeah. And then, of course, credits roll.
And we see the tethered chain extending across.
We see the tethered holding hands
Oh.
across the hills of California.
They even go into the water.
Mini
'cause
Ripperton.
They're dumb.
Yes.
Yes.
That song choice, fucking inspired, man.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, so good.
Yeah, absolutely. So good. Let's see, where is
Let's rank it.
it? A couple things. One thing to note at the beginning, there's a baseball game that they're talking about, which was Giants versus Twins. That was on the TV. Yeah,
Giants
versus Twins. Yeah.
Twinsies, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the theory, I'm trying to find my link to it, but the theory of Jason that I've seen is that Jason is a tethered. The Jason we get is a tethered.
Okay.
And some of the clues of that were, of course, that there it is. So some of the clues of that is, of course, there's a lot of stuff he doesn't remember. Like they came out there, they were there last year. They were at this cabin last year, and he doesn't.
But he remembers his little toy.
Right, but they say but there's stuff. Let's see. So there are.
All right, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to argue. Go ahead. Yeah, he forgot about the closet closing.
Yeah, he forgot about that. Let's see. He forgot the magic trick. But let's see. And the idea is that he switched places the prior summer with Pluto. So he's Pluto, and Jason had his face burnt, so he can't talk, and got stuck underground. Let's see. He doesn't like to eat with the rest of the family. He's the only one who doesn't eat with the rest of the family. His drawing isn't from his point of view. It's the back of his head.
Right. As if he saw himself seeing the homeless guy.
His cussing is odd. He says, "kiss my anus" instead of "kiss my ass," which is funny, but also...
I mean, see, again, it's like it could be explained as a kid testing the waters of bad language.
Yeah.
You know, this is bullshit. Whoa. And then later on, like, maybe anus is not a swear word. But it does also fit to someone who doesn't really understand vernacular. And yeah.
He can't work the fire magic trick, of course. But yeah, that comes up. He's the only one without shears. He's the only one without scissors. And he doesn't actually ever Pluto doesn't actually ever try to kill Jason.
Or anyone.
Yeah.
So
they say he has trouble focusing, and it's since last summer when his grandmother died.
So did he get replaced himself, or did Adelaide take him and swap him out for a better version?
Is that why she's so... I mean, she's traumatic about Pluto walking back into the fire. She's like freaking out. Whereas you're right, she watched Umbre, but she was quiet and sort of reflective. What was the other thing I was just going to say? That... Shit, I'm sorry. He doesn't try to kill anybody else.
But then also, it's the tethered were used to control the above grounds, but Jason can control Pluto, not the other way around. So if the tethered...
and that was the thing I was going to say. Her rhythm is pretty bad, but he's had trouble with rhythm.
He also,
you know what I mean?
Has bad rhythm.
She's like, come on, you can do it. You can do it. So like, she's tried to dance with him maybe, or things like that.
Yep. Yeah. So that's
curious.
Yeah. There's a lot of that. I don't know if I don't think I actually buy it. I don't think that was the intention here, but
I think it could go either way. But if you're referencing Danny and The Shining that much,
yeah, that's such a Kubrickian like alternate meaning thing. Not that Kubrick was like, we're going to make people think I faked the moon landing. But people thought that, you know, he added so many other layers that there were extraneous layers that people were picking up on.
Yep.
I mean, if we're talking about The Shining, the Apollo shirt is more of a phallus than a That movie's all about sexual.
Well,
abuse,
and the man was
making
obsessed
moon
with
landing.
space.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't just that he had this one gig. It was even something he and Steven shared and spoke about.
So, yeah. Yeah, that's all I got, guys. Do we have final thoughts or any other points we haven't made?
It's just a great horror movie. It's a great movie anyways, but it just elevated the genre, which I think is really good because gore is gore, but
we have questions that can't be answered. That's the best thing to get from.
That's the best thing.
Yeah,
we could talk about this movie for another week.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and we started out with just like we had said, where he's like, I just imagined, what if I saw myself? What if I was all alone in a dark place and I saw myself?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, he added so much more, and it's just fantastic.
Yeah.
Little seed idea.
This movie nails what the uncanny valley would feel like.
Yeah.
If we
It's
were
like,
to encounter
again,
it
when
in real
Stephen
life.
King was like, I wanted to write a story about a place that was haunted. Well, 1,000 pages later, it's it.
Exactly.
Oh, what a cute idea, Steve.
Yeah, exactly. Or like, yeah, I wanted to write
A whole town.
I wanted to write a book about that one line from that poem, and so then 5,000 pages later, there's the Dark Tower.
He's like, and I put as many magical black people as I could into the story.
So many. So
Never a normal black character in a Stephen King novel.
Never.
Always have magical powers.
That'd be special.
So, well, I think that's about it for us and for the movie Us.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. Next week on Haunted Phosphorescence, we are going to be watching Dr. Sleep.
Yeah.
Speaking of the shinning.
Shinning. That's going to be fun. That is next week on Haunted Phosphorescence for your Spooktober enjoyment. Until then, thanks for hanging out with us. This has been your host, Throw Smiley, and I don't actually want to go. I just want to stay in my cozy spot.
I'm Josh Cece, and if you can believe it, there's an even clumsier, dumber, less coordinated version of me underground.
I'm Brian Lesh, and I'll see you in the magic room.
I'm Alaric Weber, and I have the highest kill count in the family.
It's true.
That's true. Yeah,
he does. You don't want to be you don't want to be a hobo around Al.
I killed one of the twins, Al. Sorry to ruin your streak.
We'll see you next week, everybody. Bye.
Bye.